In these emails, okay, Derek Sturco receives an email from the executive director of the Gaming Policy and Enforcement Branch's Investigations Division. And this email says, did I get the funding? And then the response back is, no, but we have not advised them. And then a month later, Sturco wrote an email to Kevin Begg, whom you know, stating, IGET is being discontinued, the IGET board knows. And then he later added, I think they all know, referring to the board, certainly Dick Bent does. And then in a separate email, Kimberly McLean, a senior program manager at the Police Services Division, stated, short story, IGET is no longer, it was in the wind and seen as fairly likely at the last IGET board meeting. So I guess what I'm trying to understand and having difficulty understanding is if the consultative board made the decision to shut down IGET, I don't understand why Sturco would state the board knows and then say, I think
the challenge with this, Sean, is this, is the minister doesn't deal with everybody else's emails.
Yeah.
Okay? So what Derek is writing to one person or this person's writing that one is never an issue for me. So I'm the one that actually set up IGET as a minister, right? I made the decision as a minister back in about 2004 that we should try this. It was in consultation with the Director of Police Services at the time, Kevin Begg, who I have a phenomenal level of respect for. I think he's probably the best in the country to run any police services in any province anywhere, and I still believe that today. I had him with me for 4 years when I was Solicitor General. So as this stuff comes along, and I'm dealing with it as a minister, I'll ask questions. I'll ask questions about how's it working from Derek. I'll ask questions from Kevin. I'll say, where are we at with this thing? And I will start to formulate discussions with people about how this thing was going. So when I got the gaming side back, I said, how many people you got in IGET? Yeah. 6. When was the last time it was fully staffed? Well, it was like a year, right? And I said, so why are we spending the money on something that isn't even getting fully staffed? What's the business plan? What are the outcomes? So Kevin comes back and says, actually, they're not reaching the outcomes. And we think because of the investment we've made, because we've added 1,100 police officers in the last 8 years in BC, but we've added a whole bunch of guys to the gang task forces, to the organized crime side, that it's becoming somewhat redundant in the fact that a lot of these guys are dealing with the pieces that IGET was originally going to talk about, like things like money laundering and those sort of things, are coming in these other investigations. And I can't talk about the depth of those investigations because I was briefed in the highest levels of major investigations that have been taking place, and knowing what the outcomes are and how organized crime is involved and stuff. So I had that as part of my lexicon.
Yeah.
And I said, look, we're not going to spend the money on not getting the results. So you guys say you've asked for a business plan, you haven't got a business plan. All right, fine, we're moving on. So what are we going to do next? Okay, well, we'll make sure we start to educate as much as we can at the law enforcement level. Let's see if we can talk to the Lottery Corporation about enhancing what type levels of security they want in their facilities, because there were some things they wanted to do. And can we add some more guys into our Gaming Policy Enforcement Branch, which we did. Yeah. So that's what we did. I don't get into the minutiae of the little discussion going back and forth, and I can't speak for those guys as little minutiae of discussions. I just know, for me, it wasn't working. Looked at the budget, got the board decision, shut it down. Right. That was it for me.
So you're clear, despite everything that's here that sort of suggests that the consultative board didn't make that decision.
Well, I sat in estimate, and you saw the estimates with Kevin, and we talked about it right then and there, and the consultative board made the decision. Okay. I mean, they made a recommendation. The decision isn't made by them. Yeah. It's ultimately made by the minister.
Yeah. The decision appears to have been made in February, and as you probably know, I requested all the board meeting minutes for IGET. And the last board meeting minute that I got was from January 26, 2009. So that was about, in the month before the decision was made to shut IGET down. Okay? And there isn't any reference in this particular board meeting minute to a decision to shut down the board either.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the meeting that they would have done it in. I can't remember the exact meeting
Yeah.
that they would have done it in. I just know that I don't think it was a February decision, but I had to have to talk to Kevin about that.
Okay.
Yeah.